Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping right in. We're going to build the basic logic, the absolute guts of an AI agent using Python. We're going to do it step by step, using the core ideas from our source material.
So let's start with this really powerful idea. Think about all the mind-blowing AI you see out there. Underneath it all, there's a foundation. And you know what? That foundation is almost always Python. There's just something about its design that makes it the perfect language for creating, well, thinking machines.
That's the big question, isn't it? How in the world do you get from a bit of code to something that seems to think? Well, the amazing thing, and what you're about to see, is that it all starts with just a few simple core concepts. You don't need to be a super genius to grasp this, and we're going to break it all down right now. Okay, here's our game plan. First, we'll cover why Python is the go-to language for AI. Then, we'll actually give our agent a memory, teach it how to handle tasks, and then put the whole blueprint together. After that, we'll look at what your next steps might be. First up, Python. Let's quickly get into why this language is the perfect tool for the job. I mean, what makes it so special for AI anyway?
Well, it really comes down to a few key things. The code itself is just clean. It's simple and easy to read. But the real game changer is this massive ecosystem of powerful pre-built tools for data and AI. When you put those together, developers can go from a cool idea to a working prototype way faster than with other languages. It's all about speed.
All right, let's get to our first building block, giving our AI agent a memory. Because let's be honest, an agent that can't remember anything isn't very intelligent, is it? The most basic kind of memory in any program is a variable. The easiest way to think of it is just as a labeled box. That's it. A box where you can store one single piece of information, like a number or a little bit of text. But here's the problem. One little box isn't going to cut it for long. Real AI agents need to keep track of a whole profile of settings, their name, their version, whether they're active or offline. We need a much more organized way to store all that related info together.
And that is where the Python dictionary comes in. It is the perfect tool for this. Instead of just storing a value, it stores information in key value pairs. You can think of it like a contact card for our AI, where every piece of info has its own clear label.
And this is exactly what it looks like. The key is the label, like name or status. The value is the actual information, like agent bot or active. With a setup like this, our program can instantly look up any piece of the agent's profile just by asking for its label. Super fast. Okay, so our agent has a profile. It has a memory. Now let's put that memory to use and make this thing actually do some work. You know, a real AI doesn't just get one request and then call it a day. The reality is it's getting a constant stream of tasks, hundreds of user prompts, and it has to handle all of them, one after the other, without ever stopping. So to solve that little problem, we use a loop. A loop is basically the engine for our AI agent. It's a simple little structure that lets our program do the same thing, like processing a prompt, over and over and over again. It's what makes it so efficient. So imagine these are the jobs on our agent's to-do list. In Python, you'd usually store these in a simple ordered collection called a list. The agent's job is just to work its way through this list from top to bottom. And here's exactly how the loop gets it done. It starts, it grabs the first item off the list, and it processes it. Then it just asks a simple question. Is there anything left to do? If the answer is yes, it just goes right back to the top and grabs the next one, repeating that cycle until the entire to-do list is finished. And now for the really exciting part. Let's take these two huge ideas, the dictionary for memory and the loop for getting work done, and put them together to see the complete basic blueprint of our AI agent. First, we have our agent's identity. Its settings are all neatly stored in that dictionary we talked about, ready for quick access. This is kind of like the agent's brain. And second, we've got the to-do list, that queue of user prompts that represents all the work our agent needs to do. And this is where the magic happens. The loop starts churning through that to-do list, one item at a time. But, and this is the most important part, for every single task, it can look back at its own memory. It can check its status before responding, or maybe use its version number when it logs what it did. The memory informs the action. This is the fundamental connection between knowing and doing. So, there you have it. You've got the core logic. You now understand how an agent can remember things, and how it can work through a whole list of tasks. But our sources point to a few other essential tools that really complete the basic Python toolkit. So besides dictionaries, Python has other ways to store data. We've already seen lists, which are perfect for those ordered to-do lists. You also have strings for handling text, tuples, which are like lists you can't change, and sets for when you only want to store unique items.
Once you really master these basics, variables, dictionaries, loops, that's your launchpad. From there, the door just swings wide open to building reusable functions, handling errors so your program doesn't crash, and eventually using those heavy-duty libraries like NumPy and Pandas that power professional AI development.
So the key takeaway is this. Every complex AI, no matter how advanced it seems, is built on these simple principles of storing data and repeating actions. With these fundamental building blocks, you now get the core logic. You're ready to start thinking like an AI developer. So the only question left is, what will you build with it?